So this week's been the launch of the new DJI Mavic 4 Pro that we've all been very excitedly waiting for. Now, if you're thinking of buying one, you might be asking yourself, which package did I go for and what are the differences in their different offerings? Because there's two different controllers and there's actually two different drones. So in this video, I'm going to break down those differences between all of them so you can decide which is the right one for you. And at the end of the video, I'm going to tell you which one I've ordered and why. So breaking it down, first let's look at the controller. Now we've got the RC2 that we've had on the Mavic 4 Pro and the Air 3 and Air 3S, which is a fabulous lightweight controller. Now we've got the new RC2 Pro. What are the differences? Well, the most obvious one is it's a much bigger screen. We've gone from 5.5 inches to a 7-inch screen, which is fantastic, and from 700 nit to 2000 nit, and that's the brightness of it. So in strong sunlight, this is going to be way easier to see the screen nice and crisp. Now the communication is still the OcuSync 4, but this has gone from a 20k to a 30k, which is possibly a bit overkill unless you've got a BVLOS license, because line of sight is going to be well within 20k. The internal storage has gone from 32 gig to 128 gig. And some of the unique features of this is now the vertical filming, so you can spin the screen vertically, it turns the camera lens vertically, so you get a true high-res vertical shot. Now arguably at 4K or 6K, if you crop that, it's going to be more than ample for social media, which is probably where you're going to use the vertical shot. But it's a lovely feature. Now also it's got the fast start up, so as soon as you pop up the screen, it activates the controller and the drone, which is also very nice and fast. It also has this dynamic home feature, so as long as you change it within the settings, that drone will stay connected to the RC controller. So if you're in a car traveling, the drone will always know where the home point is because it'll know where the controller is. And then of course we've got this nice dial. There's a selector, but there's also a dial, so you can scroll through the different functions on the camera, so you can change the ISO, shutter, etc. So you can still do that with gloves on in the winter instead of touch screen, which is a nice alternative as well. Of course, it's got these folding sticks, so when you pop down the screen, the sticks fold in automatically. And we do have this HDMI port and a few other extra ports on here. Really handy for like live streaming, possibly connecting an external screen, different options like that. Now, one of the most noticeable things as well for me is it's gone from 420 grams up to 750 grams, so quite a bit heavier as well. And we'll talk about some of the other things I'm also slightly concerned about a little later. But now let's look at the drone. So there are two different versions. Notably, the main differences are going to be they both have H.265, but on the Create Combo option, the upgraded version, they've got H.264, but it's got the All-I. So that's their kind of version of ProRes. So a thing to take into account though is your let's say 500 megabyte file would go to over 5 gig file. So you've got to also take into account, will your computer run that? What external storage have I got for the computer? And some other little things to consider if you're going to be filming like that. And how much better is that quality and for what type of production? And arguably I would say the client that would like that kind of quality would ask for that, would probably be expecting to be using a Inspire 3 anyway. So you just need to question, do I need that? And then the internal storage of 512 gig it's gone up to, which is great backup. I think still would prefer to use SD cards for safety. And another thing to note is this drone has only got 190 bit rate, where you can go up to the 1200 bit rate on that all eye color coding, so that is a huge improvement. But at 4K from 60 frames a second, we've gone up to 4K 120 frames a second. Again, I'd argue, a drone, do we need that? Are you going to go down to 25% slow motion, where drones kind of move quite slowly because the relationship of distance and the smoothest they fly? I would never use that, so I'm not sure how important that is. And of course they both do 6K at 60 frames a second, so that's massive as well. I think that's fantastic. So we've got the 3 different options here, where you can just get the standard drone and RC2. You can get the standard drone, but it's in the Fly More package, or you get the Creator Combo Kit, which gives you the RC2 Pro and the drone with these extra features. I think really the main feature about it is having the all-eye color format. So I think if that's important to you, then it's possibly worth the extra money. Financially, it goes from, in UK pounds, 80 or so over £1,800 to nearly 2,500 to 3,200. So there's a huge jump there. So for me, the decision I've made is, right now I don't really want that controller because I'm a bit run and gun and it's just corporate productions, and so I prefer at the moment just to use the RC2, and I don't think I need these extra resolution that's going to give me, the extra color coding format that's going to give me. And the cost on having the standard package and just adding on the batteries and charger, it works out that you're spending about £150 on the bag. So I can't see the point in that as well. So I've ordered the standard. I'm going to add on the batteries and charger, and that will go in my run and gun bag anyway. And so that's what I'm ordering. So I'd like to know from you in the comments, what have you decided and what questions you've got about the options on the table. So for the next video in the Mavic 4 Pro, please subscribe to the channel and see what's coming up next week.